Okay, boys and girls, again, get out your science books for today. We're on page 360. So we skipped a bunch of pages. Those are science experiments for you to do. If you have stuff at home and want to do them, go for it, but it's not required. Okay, so on page 360, this is clues from the fossils. How big was it? Sometimes it's hard to tell how large an organism was just by looking at the fossil pieces of it. It is also sometimes hard to tell a fossil size from a simple picture of it. Look at the pictures of some of the fossils on this page and how the organisms compared in size. That giant ground sloth. That was at the Field Museum. Remember how huge that was? So if we look, here is the giant ground sloth, the Utahraptor, the Saccade cone, and the trilobite. Go itty bitty the trilobite was compared to a school bus. Okay, right here, that's the trilobite. Okay. So based on the drawing at the bottom of the previous page, think of some common objects that can be used to show the size of each fossil listed below. So if we have the trilobite, if you had a bicycle pedal, well, that'll be larger than the trilobite. Okay, because if we look back on this page, oops, go back, how tiny that one is over there. Okay, and this is the Saccade cone. Okay, so it's a little bigger, so we need to think of something bigger to compare it to. Is it a pine cone? Pine cone would be smaller. A Utahraptor, a teacher's desk. The desk would be smaller than a Utahraptor. Oops. Go back. Let's look at that thing compared to that bus and that giant ground sloth. Is it a van? The van would be larger than the giant ground sloth. Not much, though. And this one, boys and girls, you don't have to do. I just put it in there to show you. Here's the answers. If you want to get out a ruler and figure that out, you don't have to. Pieces and parts. Fossils of the entire organisms are rare. Scientists usually only find pieces and parts of once living things. Complete fossils, such as those below, give scientists greater insight into what some organisms used to look like. Can you figure out what's what? So, compare the details of the fossils. Describe what you can tell from each fossil and the details that you see. So look, I can see this tail clearly. I can see a mouth. So again, this to me would be a fish. I can see the mouth right here. The bones are visible. The eyes and mouth are easy to see. And then there's two clear fins. This fish was wide and flat. So they look like fish, both of them. They don't have arms and legs. That's a clue to help us know what type of animal they are. So an artist used the fossils to draw what the original organisms may have looked like. Compare the images. Use the fossil to determine if you agree with the artist. So this is what the artist thinks that this fish looked like. So list any parts that you think match. So this is the mouth, the fins, the eyes are in the same location. Maybe stuff that don't match. This looks more narrow, a little skinnier than that one. The tail looks a little longer. How does a more detailed fossil help scientists better understand what the organism was like? The more detail a fossil contains, the more information scientists can gather from it. The more information, the better we can understand what they actually look like. Excuse me. Some fossils closely resemble organisms alive today. Others, however, look nothing like organisms that live on Earth today. In fact, some fossilized organisms are so strange it can be hard to imagine what they look like. But no matter how strange or common fossils look, they still provide scientists with much evidence from life in the past. So this is draw a picture, draw a line to the picture to each organism and what it must have left behind. So right here I can see that long skinny tail that matches, the spikes that match. Oops. Sorry, boys and girls. Okay. And then this is the end of our lesson. It says, how do scientists know that some organisms, how do scientists know that some organisms not alive today once lived on Earth? Well, they found and they studied fossils that look nothing like the modern times. So, and then they compare it. So that's how they know. So, boys and girls, if you wanted to, so you can go online and explore fossils more closely if you would like to. You do not have to. Tomorrow, you're going to watch a Bill Nye on fossils, and then you're going to take a little lesson roundup, a little quiz on everything that we went over this week.